Okay. So, hello everyone, and this is really going to be about. So, I'm going to record it. If you like, you can watch it again, or it's up to you. And here we're going to talk about traumatic students. You know that war is taking place in different parts of the world, especially in Iran, in different parts in Lebanon here. And this is why we have to take into consideration how to provide safe classrooms for our students. And we're not going to talk about war only. Sometimes they might have problems at home. Sometimes they might have really certain problems with their parents, with their siblings, with their relatives, maybe with their friends. This is what we're not going to talk about the different types of problems, but we're going to talk about how we can recognize these problems, how can we deal with these problems. Now, let's start now. First of all, I want you to close your eyes if it is possible. Why? Because I'm going to describe something to you. So, what I'm going to describe here, first of all, imagine, so you can see the picture in front of you. Just imagine, uh, close your eyes for a moment if you like. Imagine a student walking into your classroom. This student isn't carrying a physical backpack, but an invisible one. Inside that backpack are experiences of conflict, loss of safety, or the weight of a fight, flight, something a problem. So, in this invisible that we cannot see, there's something there. And imagine that this backpack is so heavy, it makes it physically difficult for them to sit still, to listen to you, or to care about your lessons. So, today, just imagine the student carrying this invisible, something that we cannot see, but still it is carried by that student. So, we're going to look at how to help our students set that backpack down so their brains are actually free to learn with us. So, before we look at how, let's see when the student walks through the door. So, imagine your students. I know that some of you might have a lot of students, 40 students, 35 students. It depends on your classes, but just imagine. So, my question is as follows. You can see it on the screen. When you see a student struggling, what do we view? What do we see? Do we see it as a choice or a biological response? What do I mean by this? Do you see it? Sometimes you might see that a student is misbehaving, is somehow making a lot of noise, talking with others. He cannot listen to you. So, do you think he's choosing to be like that? Or do you think this is a biological? Oh, thank you, Dalia. It's biological. Great. What about the others? What do you think? You can write in the chat. So Dalia said it's biological. What do you think? So it might be biological. What other things it might be? What do you think? Is it, do they choose to do that or there's something? Uh-huh. Environmental factors. Good, Kalaik. Thank you. Good. Biological and environmental factors. So both. Thank you, Hafaf. Mhm. Okay, great. Stress and other factors. Maybe they are exhausted so much. Thank you, Dua. Great. So, what do we see? How can we understand trauma's impact on learning? Now, sometimes we see that our students are coming to the classroom and they have to study, they have to listen to you. But still, this is very important to take into consideration that the trauma is not just an experience, it changes brain processes. Believe me, even if you have a problem at home with your wife, with your husband, with your kids, it affects your brains. And this is why the brain might somehow uh, uh, prioritizes or chooses survival over learning. And this is why you can see them that they're not ready to learn. And this is why we might see that amygdala. Amygdala, it means that threat detector, it becomes overactive. And it happens, something happens, this is biological, it happens in the brain. So, and this is why students would look inattentive. And actually, what's happening is their brain is actually protecting them because of that trauma. So, this is why we have to take this into consideration. We have to to understand that in this case, safety becomes the primary goal. So they would say, am I safe? So the brain will ask, am I safe? And this is why they will be uncertain. And they will look around them in, I mean, the environment that they have around. They will also, if you give them instructions, they are not going to listen. And their memory is very weak. So only because they feel they are not safe and they cannot trust anyone, especially adults. You, as a teacher, they can't trust their parents, they cannot trust you. And this is why they can have somehow, or they test themselves repeatedly, and you can feel that they are moving a lot. And also, we have something very important here related to uh, having that cognitive load, emotional load. You can feel them that they are emotionally affected, they are hyper, they move around, they move a lot. So, this is why their working memory is affected. They cannot solve problems. They cannot pay attention in the class. So, this is very important about understanding trauma's impact on learning. Is there anyone who would like to add something? You can write in the chat if you like about trauma. Trauma, it's something that it's not only an event that happened in the life of our students. It is a response. It's something that they experience, and all of a sudden, you can find them reacting in a certain way. Would you like to add something?
Doctor,
No?
I want to add something.
Yes, dear.
We face this problem or these issues
Mm-hmm.
in our classes,
Mm,
especially يعني uh, reflect on the family's issues. For
mm-hmm.
example, divorcing for the
Exactly,
parents.
that's true. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the divorcing of the parents, maybe the teenagers lived in their father's
Mm-hmm.
house. They cannot say their moms or in the other side.
Okay.
فيعني we face this problem, and we notice these issues
Mm-hmm.
reflect on the on our students
Mm-hmm.
for an assessment, especially in participation, especially they are
Mm-hmm.
very sensitive when you encourage some student when we talking about, for example, some lessons is talking about the families and fathers, moms.
Mm-hmm.
يعني they make sensitive in the class, and we notice that يعني from the physical, the body language of our student without talking.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we can ask the headmasters or the other teacher if these students have some issues in her family, and they say يعني maybe divorcing is the big problem in our
Mm.
Arab families
Exactly. That's
issues.
true. Mm-mm.
Thank you,
Same,
doctor.
exactly. Now, at the beginning, we're trying to understand what you mean by this. So we call them traumatic students or traumatic learners. So we have to understand what the way they feel or the way their brains are functioning. Yes, Mahmoud, would you like to add
Thank
something?
you. Yes, yes. Thank you, Doctora. I want just a little something added. Because that the teacher should
Mm,
be give the same for student
mhm,
before he starts in teaching.
mhm,
Because the student, when he have a problem, an exist whatever a problem,
mm,
they come in survival mood. If you talk to him,
exactly.
yeah,
That's true.
he will define himself. Yeah, because that the student should, the teacher should give the student, give the students
Mhm,
safe before the
exactly.
classing. Just thank
That's
you.
true. Great. Thank you. Okay, so here we have, sorry, uh, we have an important question. So, is our goal in the classroom to fix what has happened to our students? It means that, as mentioned here, they might have faced divorce or war or any problem, or to ensure our environment doesn't make their invisible wounds deeper. Wounds, it means what they're suffering from. So, what is our goal? Can we fix if they have faced divorce? Can we fix the divorce? Can we? What should we do? Please just write fix or ensure in the chat. Write the word fix or ensure. Choose. Can we fix or can we ensure? So, what do you think? Oh, great. We have answers. Ensure. Mhm. The second choice, ensure. Yes. So, I agree with you. We have to ensure. We are teachers as much as possible. We try to ensure a certain kind of environment in the classroom. So, uh, how? So, as we said previously, by understanding trauma informed education. So, this trauma, it is not a program or checklist. It's a lens, just like a lens through which we can explain the way our students are behaving, learning, interaction. We have, as much as possible, we are not perfect people and we can do that. As much as possible, maybe by shifting from judgment to interpretation. For example, we might see some students who one of the learners is moving a lot or one of the students is inattentive. So I should not judge that he's a bad student. I should not judge him. I should try to explain why is he doing that. And even if you are married or if you're dealing with kids, please don't judge. Try your best not to judge, but to say why is that person behaving in this way. So you have to say, what has this student experienced? How does it affect his or her learning? So this is what we mean. So we should not try to fix, but the goal is to avoid re-traumatization and minimize harm as much as possible. So if you shout, if you try to harm that person, if you try to hurt that person, so that person maybe in this way you're asked in one way or another, you're trying to traumatize him again. So this is how we try to ensure, as we said previously, and as much as possible, you're not only teaching them, but you try also to be a stable figure, a stable person in front of them, a regulator. You should not say, for example, he's so noisy, I have to stop this behavior. You have to understand, you have to ask yourself, how do I understand and respond effectively? And believe me, even you can do that with your kids, not only with your students. So this is very important because students are going, as one of you mentioned, survival. They have to survive. They have, this is the baseline reality. So we have to keep in mind that they have to be resilient to stay as much as possible. So this is what we can do from time to time with our students. Now, another question: why does a student who experienced a crisis, for example, over the weekend, maybe, I don't know, he faced something, seem physically unable to process a simple activity on Monday morning? What do you think? You can write in the chat. So, for example, he faced a problem, his dad shouted at his mom or something. So, uh, yes, that's true. You have to think critically more than emotionally. Thank you, Mariam, sorry. To express their feelings, validate emotions, avoid dismissive phrase like just ignore it. Now, maybe we should not ignore it. Maybe we have to deal with it as much as possible. Judgment, don't try to judge as much as possible. Don't try to judge your students. Okay, Mahmoud, yes, physically blocking the areas needed for learning and focus. That's right. Trauma, I don't know, maybe we passed through trauma, maybe we're passing through trauma, and post-traumatic, it means after the trauma, we ourselves as adults might be affected by this. Exactly, they won't be, Sharif, that's right, they won't um, be that confident. Exactly, that's true. Okay, now, I don't know. So here we're talking about biology. This is why at the beginning we said it's biological. It's the neurobiology of trauma. Why? Because when our students are affected by trauma, what happens to the brain? As we said previously, we have that threat detector. It becomes overactive and even it looks for danger. There's something they would look for, something that is dangerous around them, like a movement, like a tone. So they would consider it as threats. And we have the words, the three words: fight, flight, freeze, the three F's. What do you mean by fight? So we can, how do they manifest? How do they show their traumatic attitude? They defy. What do you mean by defy? It means that they can be angry, fight. They can be aggressive or flight. It means they avoid. They're distracted. They leave tasks unfinished. Freeze, it means silence. So it means passive, completely passive. They don't react in any way. Okay? So also there's something here that we have the prefrontal cortex here. We're talking biology. And this, it affects attention and concentration, affects memory, problem solving, logical thinking. All of these are affected. And even uh, they cannot manage their emotions. They cannot be calm. They cannot talk about or interpret situations. So this is very important with respect to if you're teaching them in a traditional way, you can find that your instructions are not going to be understood by your students. And if you punish them, stress will increase. Simply, we cannot teach a brain that feels unsafe. This is very important. This is very, very important that we have to take into consideration. Now, is there anyone who'd like to say something, would like to tell us something about what so up till now we're talking about biological. Thank you, Abdussalam. I'm very happy to see you here. Yes, yes, trauma is very, very important and we have to take it. Aggressiveness, they will see that they're very aggressive. They will be very, also very angry most of the time. Let me check here something. Okay. Okay. Now, sorry. Let's move to another question. This is biologically. I think it is not our concern, but we have to understand fight, flight, freeze. Fight, aggressive, angry. Flight, they avoid. You can say that, and we have also freeze, passive, no reaction in any way. So, how can we recognize the difference between a student who's lazy and who is withdrawn, or a student who's defiant, or he is hyper vigilant? How can we recognize the difference? Lazy, withdrawn, inattentive, defiant, and hyper vigilant. Would like to say something, would like to write, you can write in the chat if you like. Okay, let's talk about lazy. I think most of you have faced lazy students. This is something that is normal, right? So we can see most of our observation of behavior. That's right, 3 Fs, thank you. So what do you think?
Can I answer? Can I answer, Doctor?
Yes, dear, go ahead.
Doctor, I think the lazy student, he didn't make any effort during the lesson. Maybe sometimes he avoid do the homeworks or participation or something like this, and
Mm-hmm,
he didn't care about the what does the teacher discuss in the lesson.
mm-hmm,
Uh, but I think about the withdrawn. I think,
mm,
yeah, especially we can see this type of our students because he's isolated, and he didn't like to participate.
mm-hmm,
Maybe he can face a fear or stress or something like this. Or sometimes we can see him all the time. He is very sad or shying.
or shy.
Uh,
That's true. That's true.
yeah, that's true.
Wow.
But
Thank.
about
Mm-hmm,
defiant, he didn't like any person give him an order. For
mm,
example, if you say, "Please stand up, answer question two,
mm,
sit down,"
mm,
he will be nervous, and he didn't like the students give or the teacher give him any orders. I think
exactly.
that, yani.
Yeah, wonderful dua. That's right, as usual. Thank you. Mahmoud, would you like to add something?
Yeah, yes, Doctora. I want to we should look like the behind of behavior. Yani,
Mm,
what the behind of behavior like laziness. Maybe
mm,
this is meaning often emotional.
mm,
That make student lazy because that
mhm,
should I teacher have invi- um, invisible eye to see the behind the behavior
mhm.
like laziness. Just
Then wonderful. Okay. So, uh, how can we recognize it? Most of you maybe are familiar with this. So, hypervigilance, it means they're always looking for danger, for difficulty, for concentrate. They are not concentrating, difficulty of concentration. Um, if you just say one word, sometimes they will react in a suddenly. This is trauma responses. We said withdrawal uh, is very clear, and angry, just like we said fight, where they are very angry, very aggressive, and emotional regulation. It means that intense emotional reactions that we cannot calm them. We cannot really, we cannot keep them calm or safe. Now, my question now, yes, we have, let's look at the chat. We need to look past the surface action to the internal state of the student. So, yes, exactly. This is very difficult, as if we are going to be psychiatrists or therapists. This is very important. Thank you, Abdussalam, for mentioning this. Yes, sometimes we have to all the time to explain, to interpret, and to take it easy because out of this reaction, there is a reason. There is something that we have to take into consideration. So let's look at this question. Before we open a test book, what are the four pillars we must establish to ensure a student's brain is even ready to receive information? So um, I think this is what we have to take into consideration in general, not only for traumatic students, but most of our students are traumatic ones, which means that they have experienced a certain trauma. And this is why I'm asking you about these pillars, these main things that we have to take into consideration. Please write in the chat, what do you think? Okay, definitely to answer the question, we need to look. So, thank you. Safety, connection, support, and belonging. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you. So, a safe environment, classroom. Thank you, Basmala. Wonderful. Build trust with them to feel that they belong to this environment. Also, dua should be at a safety atmosphere, and we should let our students feel they are very important for us as a teacher. That's right. Thank you. So you're familiar with all of these. So simply we establish safety first. How? What do you mean by safety? This is a very important question, by the way. What do you mean by safety? It means
Yeah,
simply,
I think
yes,
no threats.
no threats. Exactly. That's right. So they should not feel that they are shamed, embarrassed, singled out. It means that leave them. So, for example, I would say, Samira, you have to stay in the corner, or Sami, you have to. So, all of these are very important ones. Okay. And also, you have to help them understand that mistakes are part of learning. Why? It's okay if you make mistakes. And the classroom, you start with lessons, with consistent routines, avoid public correction, don't correct them, private redirection, calm tone, regulated responses. And also, we have something very important. This is safety, physical, emotional safety. Build trusting relationships. Who would like to tell us about building trusting relationships? This is the second one. What do you mean by building trusting relationships? This is very, did you try, who would like to share his or her experience with respect to building trusting relationships?
Doctor, I think if our student faced any problem in a school, or if he or she makes something false, they hesitate, or they feeling hesitate to tell the headmaster. But sometimes if the students give this, if the teacher give the student a space to make them feel confidence and feel comfortable during the teacher attendance. If they faced any problem, يعني they will go to the teacher, and يعني they start to say, teacher, I want to tell you something. Maybe I faced a problem. I need your encouragement, or your for example, we call something I mean يعني we should give our students helpful, or give him an advice, try to understand why, what is the reason that guide our student to
Mhm,
do these mistakes.
mhm,
And we يعني the first step we want to try to deal with this issue or this problem
mhm,
in comfortable way, without nervous from our students, and ask them what is the reason that led you to do this, and give him a safety feelings. I want to help you, but you want to be ready if the headmaster give you a punishment.
mhm,
That's يعني make something comfortable for our students.
mhm,
In the second times, or in another time,
mhm.
if they faced any problem, they don't hesitate to tell us what they faced
Exactly.
in the students in the schools.
Thank you, Dua. Thank you. So we have
Yes,
also
doctor.
interesting, a lot of they are not interesting uh, sentences in the chat. Uh, So caring, feeling respectful, supportive. I think it's very important to let them feel that they are respected, that you care about them. I care about you. I really care to know the reason behind your problems. So, in this case, as Abdussalam wrote in the chat, also, it's a social process. It's not you're feeding them as if you're feeding them, spoon feeding. You have to create a kind of relationship with your students and with your learners. So excellent. Thank you, Dua. And also, what do you mean by empower student voice? It means you have to give him the choice. Maybe you ask them to choose a topic that they like, or maybe how do you like to learn? Maybe by giving them. So if you include them, if you involve them in the learning process, this would help them also to feel that they are a part. They have a certain voice. Of course, they are not going to shout, but it means that you're somehow giving them a part, or they have a part in the learning process in the classroom. And collaboration, it means they have to collaborate with each other in order to reduce isolation and in order to have a certain community in the classroom. So this is if they love their classrooms, if they feel that they are a part of the classroom, then this would create a kind of collaboration and connection among the students. Now, the question here, what specific tangible changes can we make to our daily routines to lower the threat level for a traumatized child? So, daily routines, it means that you're coming to the classroom every day. What things that we have to do daily? What are the things that we can do daily in order to lower the threat level again? So, here we're imagining that our children, our learners are traumatized. What do you think? How can we lower that? So, daily routine, something like what? Just imagine what what things we can do here to lower it.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Uh, I think I can do something with our student that it is a new learning by playing. Every
Games, you mean?
student can play a role play about
Mm,
something that teacher make it as a
mm,
consideration for student and preparing it,
mm-hmm.
and the student applying it instead of doing the routine daily.
Wow, great. Thank you, Sharif. That's right. Excellent. We have here Asma wrote, okay, so you can uh, uh, somehow encourage students to speak with you, to trust you without problems. And here, Father Rahman said, school officially prepare collaborative with professional counselors and deal with sharing techniques, approaches. Thank you. And also SEL, I like social emotional learning, Vivian. Thank you, Vivian, for sharing this. Yes, social emotional learning is very important. Like breathing deeply, all of these would affect them. Oh, Dahlia, that's excellent. Say their names warmly. For example, Dahlia, when you say that avoid yelling, avoid shouting, that's right. So all of these are some of the things that we can somehow do daily routines. Exactly. The nervous system will be somehow yes, hugging them, but we have to pay attention to that because it might be understood in the wrong way. Okay, so hugging them is good. but I don't know, it depends on the culture itself, on the way you can behave with your students. Thank you, everyone, for these wonderful messages, for your wonderful ideas. So, what can we do here? First, predictable routines, like what? Have clear schedules. Really, routines are very, very important in our classrooms. So, we can have somehow daily routines uh, sorry, like for example, visual timetables, clear transitions. For example, we'll start at 8 with good morning, how are you kids? Then we move to the first activity. So these clear transitions from one activity to another would help our students to feel at ease. Um, also, help them, all of these add. So please try to have predictable routines, safe spaces. It means, I don't know if it is possible to have a calm area in your classrooms. So this is very important, like a seating where they can sit in a place where they're calm, and maybe something where they can read or a picture that they like. Also, there's something like check-ins. What do you mean by check-ins? Like, for example, you can have something like an emotional chart. How do you feel today? They would send you from 1 till 5. Happy, sad, very happy. So all of these will help them to express the way. This is called emotional chart. This is how you check in. Uh, sometimes some students need flexibility. It means that maybe if you give them an assignment, they might not be able to admit or to submit their assignments on time. This is these all of these are daily routines. So the charts, the emotional charts, some from moving from one activity into another. Uh, uh, Try your best to be calm, quiet voices as much as possible, because if you're going to be angry, they will be angry. And not only with traumatic students, with all students. And the last one, which is very important, small wins matter. What do you mean by small wins matter? It means that you recognized, maybe giving them a star or maybe anything, maybe a lollipop, maybe a card, I don't know. So this will rebuild confidence and motivation because you're recognizing their efforts. So all of these are important daily routines, something that you can do every day. Now, also, we have something very important. Sorry. I'm talking about, in general, about face-to-face classrooms. I don't know if it's possible to have a calm corner. Have you tried mindful moments like breathing heavy, breathing deeply, or maybe, I don't know, have you tried uh, mindfulness exercises, breathing techniques? Have you ever would like to share an experience with these or exercises to calm them down? Have you? No?
Yes, yes, Doctora.
Yes,
Because, but
Mahmoud.
our student didn't accept that. They
Hmm.
laughing. Some student they laughing across the classroom.
Okay.
But after that, because I do it like a routine, every time, every lesson, I do it relaxation. They accepted and they
Mm.
didn't laughing after that. I think it's like something like warming
Mhm.
activity to help student feel safety too. Not just
Mm.
like for relaxing. No, they give him something like a safety place. Feeling
Mm.
have a safety teacher didn't like
Exactly.
Mhm, like that.
Thank you. Basmala is talking about candle and sorry, Dalia about candle and flower. That's good. This is a game, a kind of game. They they smell the flower and blow the candle. I love it. You can try it. Sharif talked about telling a story. Why not? Sometimes if you tell a story, they will love it and it will be an interesting thing. Now, online, I don't know if now we're in Lebanon because of the war in Lebanon. We're teaching online. So sometimes I won't really force my students to turn on the camera because they might not feel safe. Also, I provide them where I'm providing them. As a teacher, I'm providing them with recorded lessons. Also, sometimes I would give them flexible deadlines because most of our students now in Lebanon are traumatized. Believe me, we are traumatized. And this is why I suggested or I tried my best to have this this session. Um, Sometimes you might ask them that you have to now also we have sometimes if someone is I feel that he or she is not okay, I would have private one-to-one maybe video, maybe chat sessions. So this is very important with respect to children I don't know if you can try this online. I have no idea. So this is very important about it. Now, let's move to our uh, can can you make or can we make a difference in a child's long-term recovery? Please in the chat say yes or no. We as teachers, would you feel that you can make a difference in a child's long-term recovery? Please in the chat tell me yes or no. Yes, Dalia. Thank you, Dalia. Definitely yes. Thank you, Khaled. Oh, Afaf. Basmala, yes. Great. Riham, yes. Okay. So we can. Mhm. That's right. We can make a real difference. Believe me, we can. And I have been teaching for a long time, for 42 years. Sometimes because I some certain times I was very, very nervous. Certain students hated me, while others would never forget. So for sure, even a word might make a difference. Even a word might make a lot of difference, believe me. So you agree with me, and all of you said yes. How? Greetings, farewells. Hi, Samira. Hi, Sammy. Hello. Goodbye, dear teachers. Take care. So all of these would build a kind of connection. Why do you feel sad? Can you tell me something? But of course, aside, having private conversations about their well-being and also maybe asking them to build a kind of support with other groups. So this is why we have to build a kind of resilience by connecting with our students. Maybe through choice, maybe by asking them to choose whenever it is possible, maybe by simply asking them to manage their emotions or to express their emotions in different ways, maybe by all the time focus on the positive things, on their strengths. All the time we have to focus on this. But the question, read it and tell me, now we talked a lot about our learners. What about us as teachers? How can we continue to hold space for our students' trauma without becoming overwhelmed or burned out by the weight of their experiences? So sometimes we might be affected by the way our uh, uh, by the way. So, for example, you're taking care of all of our learners. What about you as a teacher? You're burnt out. What do you mean by burnt out? It means you're worn out. You're very tired. I can't stand it anymore. So, do you think about yourselves? What do you think? Do you think about yourselves? Let's see. Tell me in the chat. That's right. Yes, exactly. Maybe sports. That's right. Mhm. Okay. So how should we take care of ourselves? This is the very important point. Maybe, so we're about to, maybe by, if you're in contact with traumatic students, this would affect your mind. So if you're tired, you have to recognize this. You have to take care of yourself. And in this case, you in this case, if you're very tired, then you would look like an empty cup. And of course, an empty cup cannot pour anything. So empty cup cannot give. So you have to take care of yourself as an educator. And you have to protect your personal time. And it's okay if you seek support from other colleagues, from your friends, from others who are ready to help you, counselors. Nowadays, in many schools, we have social workers, those who might be interested in helping us. So you have to take breaks, you have to maybe, I don't know, it depends on the way you can relax. So you have to take care of yourselves. This is very, very important. Okay, so this is the end. Now, do you have questions? Do you have any question to ask me? Love yourself. I love this. That's right. Thank you, Khalayiq. That's right. Use professional strategies, yoga session if it is possible. Why not dua? Self-awareness, Dalia. I will support them. So you have to support yourself in order to support your students. Do you have questions?
Nothing, Doctor. Nice to see you again, and yani, I'd like to participate in your session in the next time concerning these issues or subjects. Thank you a
Okay,
lot.
I'm going to send you a certificate. This certificate, you can just delete and write your names. So you can use it if you like. Okay, it is editable. Just with the institution, you just try. It is editable. It means that you just you write your names and you can get the certificate if you like. Of course, if you like.
Thank you,
Uh,
Doctor.
I am really happy to see all of you here. So I don't know. And thank you for joining. And really, I thought of this session because our students are traumatic students nowadays, especially in Lebanon. And if you need anything, you can contact me anytime you want. Thank you for joining. And
Thank you.
thank you, Bushra. Thank you, Sharif. Thank you, everyone. And bye.
Bye, دكتورة.
Bye.
Bye.
I was sharing.